With apologies to those of my viewers who have a sensitive nature, I'm going to talk about shanking. The pro that I worked for before I emigrated would actually run out of the room if a customer came in and said, "I need a lesson, I'm shanking." He didn't want to even hear the word. And so we got the job, we assistants. And I'm sort of grateful because it's probably the most feared of the bad shots in golf, more so than slicing into the trees, because it happens indiscriminately, even with very good golfers and with no advance warning. So let's discuss what possible fixes might be available to us. Shanking is unfortunately very available. And to define it, a golf ball, which is 1.68 inches in diameter, occupies enough of the face that it only requires a less than 3/4 of an inch shift into the neck, the hosel as it's called. We used to call shanking a hosel rocket. It only takes that 3/4 inch error, where the club is 3/4 of an inch farther from you than you had planned, for it to hit a shank. And we're tetrapods, a fancy name for four-legged animals that move forward. So our legs and our elbows, our arms, are all devised so that they can move us in this direction. So the elbows can move the club in this direction and the knees can adjust in a way that does the same thing. Well, you can probably tell from that little gesture there that it takes virtually no contribution from the elbows and knees to put us into shank territory. And it's sort of encouraged by the fact that we tend to want to avoid the ground. And when we're pulling up to avoid the ground, these movements easily seep in. So if you look at the champions of old, and I'm going to show you a picture here of Willie Park Jr., you'll see that the idea that we're so used to seeing on the TV of this very angular posture where the body, the thighs, and the lower leg are all straight lines and all kept bent throughout the swing is actually a fairly modern invention. If you look at the picture of Willie Park, you'll see that his legs were straight, and he was by no means unique about that. So we're trying to avoid adding anything from the elbows, and that's one of the reasons that I like to bias the left arm. It's not the biggest one, but it really helps. And then particularly with the legs, which, of course, being bigger, add an even greater potential for shanking. I think that if you practice with your legs straight, you're going to have a lot of insight into whether you can meet the ball with the portion of the club that isn't a shank. And that's valuable. Just be prepared that you'll have to go slowly because your range of movement won't match the absence of your knee bend. And you'll find that you can't go back as far, you can't hit as hard. But it's really valuable to learn to hit golf shots with your legs straight and then ask the obvious question, can I then reintroduce them without reintroducing a shank? My suspicion is that after a while, you'll find that you can.